Pitter patter. Let's get at her. Stranger Things is not the most exciting. One of the most exciting things that is happening on a Wednesday on November 26th. It is another episode of the Mainly Broncos podcast. It is a fantastic episode of the Mainly Broncos podcast because the Broncos return to action this Sunday on prime time. They thought about flexing it out, but the Broncos are the reason why they didn't flex it out. It's because
how about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Broncos are the reason why they didn't flex it out. So the Broncos are back at 9-2. Thank you to everybody that is hopping in the chat. As you can tell, we have quite the cast of characters tonight. We have Maddie, who actually it's been a long time since he'd been on. Obviously, we have the staple Brandon. For some reason, I think Jordan slept through his nap alarm clock, and so we were waiting for the Pat Bryant hater to join the show here in just a second. And Brandon, of course, he'll be here for about I want to say about an hour. He's still got to cook his Thanksgiving dinner for tomorrow, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And as you can see there over there on the right hand side, we have David Talks Broncos, which I got to say, this is the first time like that I'm the host now. Like, right? Like, this is the first time? Because the times I would be on, like, doing a show with you, David, it would be the reverse, right? Like,
oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess I got enough cred online to be a guest on the show. Let's go.
Well, because I was going to say, like, we would do the David Talks Buffs.
Yeah.
Right? And then we did the ever so famous Engage 8 that got canned.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I think it's like the first time where you are the first time.
Yeah, you came on Horsepower Hour. Yeah.
And you were supposed to this, and you were supposed to hop on at one point, and unfortunately, the schedules couldn't work. So no, welcome aboard. I promise I will keep my Husker takes and positive takes about the Huskers over CU to a minimum. I can't say the same thing for Strez because this is his second thing. This is his second go around of being on the Mainly Broncos podcast. When was the last time you were on, Strez? I can't remember.
I think it was preseason.
Preseason. That sounds right.
Yeah.
So nice. I can't lie to you. He's going to be all up in his feels for about 20 minutes, figuring out if Dylan Raiola is going to leave.
We were just talking about that.
Cannot confirm or deny. So look who it is. He only
rumor has it he's trying to transfer to Texas Tech.
See, we just had Pat Bryant 3 times and Jordan appeared.
Actually, I was just gonna say, surprisingly, the rumor that I've heard with Dylan is sure enough the guy who's Mr. Top Right over there, his school, Miami.
Don't even get me started on Miami because the committee is trying to screw us, so I have to deal with that. So.
No, but nonetheless, it's great having you guys, David, Strez, being on the show. It's going to be a fantastic time. For the first-time watchers and listeners, if you will, of the Mainly Broncos podcast, we are members of the MHRT Network. So make sure you hit the subscribe button for the MHRT Network page over there on YouTube. We are also doing this on the Mainly Broncos YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to the Mainly Broncos YouTube channel. And we are also showing this over on David's YouTube channel at David Talks Broncos, right? Yeah. So you make sure you subscribe to David Talks Broncos. So yeah, no, it's gonna be a fantastic show. We are going to talk about kind of the state of the team, with where things are with the bye week. And then we're going to preview this Washington Commanders game. We'll start with you, David. I think that the way we would probably preface this is like at the beginning part of the year, we weren't sure, right? Like we weren't sure necessarily like how things were going to transpire with the second year between the Sean Payton, Bo Nix, everything else. Coming in from this team, one of the biggest positives for this team was they had about an 85% return rate on their roster, their overall roster So for all intents and purposes, everybody was coming back except for a few players that they added in free agency. Some were rather significant players in terms of, as it turned out. So take us through your vantage point. Well, I'll ask the same question to you, Strez, or you can just take it after David's done.
Yeah.
But take us through your ride, and just seeing everything unfold from a Broncos fan perspective till now, right here as we're kind of sitting here in the bye week.
Continuity in both personnel and coaching, baby. That's why we've been able to take another significant step this year. That's really what it comes down to. Everybody's in the system. Everybody that we have now is pretty much a culture fit. And we've been able to get rid of, some of these me first bad apple divas that are still having bad attitudes over at the Cleveland Browns too. Imagine that. So we've been able to get rid of those guys. We're removed from them like a couple of years. And all we do is we draft captains. We bring in guys that just do their job. And hey, we're playing together. The biggest shift we've had this season is that we couldn't win. We couldn't finish those one-score games a lot of the times last year. Something with losing back-to-back games against the Colts and Chargers changed this team. It changed this team where Strez, I remember we were talking about it on a Thursday night. Man, this team doesn't have killer instinct. Man, this team doesn't hate to lose enough. Something switched where they decided, you know what? Actually, yeah, we really do freaking hate to lose. And they have been inevitable ever since. I think the big turning point in the season was the win over the Eagles. I think that has propelled us for the rest of the season. And I will say the offense, not looking great, okay, throughout major portions of this season. But I think we're turning the page, man. I think the offense is going to start to pull their weight with things. And, yeah, it starts this week at Washington. But honestly, man, I couldn't be prouder of this team. And, I'll leave it at that.
Stress.
Yeah, no, echo a lot of David's sentiment. I think one of the nice things, too, that I can kind of point to is that it has been so nice to get draft picks back.
Oh.
I think there was a point where we were really showing what it looks like when you lack first and second round picks for multiple years. And that really came back to bite us. But once we got it back in, we went and got our quarterback, which really is the thing that kind of catapulted us to this next level, because once you have that position figured out, you can just plug and play everywhere else around him on both sides of the football. And I think the other thing has been the defense itself kind of quietly becoming the defense that they have turned into over the last 2 years. Every single one of us can remember where we were when we watched that defense give up 70 points. Yep. And here we are today, leading the league in sacks, not just last year, but also this year, with a chance to break the single season total sacks record set by, what was it, the 86 Bears? The 85 Bears?
85, yeah.
Yeah, so, I think those two things combined, just with also having the continuity from ownership to GM to head coach to quarterback, like that, all of those things in general, just kind of, that's really what it was that got us to this point, and I'll be fair for if anybody is watching this that wants to hate or wants to call us frauds. It does help having a third place schedule, not going to lie. But you have to beat the teams you play, and that's what the Broncos have been doing.
Maddie, well, what about you? It's been a little bit since we had a chance to talk about those beloved Denver Broncos, but kind of take us through that exact same question. And again, Jordan and Brandon, feel free to chime in too, after Maddie. But yeah, Maddie, how are you feeling? Mr. I will say, and for anybody that does not know, because I have to give some I figure some introduction. Maddie, he's a bit more on the pessimistic side at times. So Maddie, kind of take us through, how are we feeling sitting here at 9-2?
Like I told y'all before the pod started, being a Sooners and Broncos fan right now, I'm walking around like I have 3 legs. That's pretty much what it feels like. And you know what?
Can
Like
relate.
all the haters can kiss my whole ass, because this is the thing. What's the goal of sport? You win.
Yep.
Get the win. Being a Broncos and Sooners fan, there's a lot of alignment between those two teams.
Just
Play
a little
incredible
bit.
defense, lock the other team down offensively, win with defense and special teams, have a quarterback number 10, make enough plays when it matters, and get the job done, right? And it doesn't matter who the opponent is. You want us to play the number 1 offense in the league? We play Dallas, we get the win. You want us to play the number 1 defense in football, arguably, in the Texans? Great. We'll get the win there too. Like, it does not matter. We can play ugly. We can play against anyone. And I'm saying that about both teams, the Sooners and the Broncos. It's been incredible. Now, to align that even further, continuity is the biggest thing. The Sooners had a lot of guys come back on defense that could have gone pro. They bought in. The coaching staff stayed the same. They were able to build onto a system that they believed in. They kept a lot of skill coaches, even though they changed a few coordinators. The Broncos had a lot of continuity on both sides of the football, and then added key players as they needed to. That when you look at the best programs, they have continuity, and then they fill in the holes as needed. Both organizations did that, and they're both looking at the postseason now. And the sky's the limit for both teams, because they literally can line up and play against anyone. So yeah, I'm walking around like I have that third leg. It makes it a little awkward sometimes in public. People look at me a little weird, but again, then kiss my whole ass. I don't care about the perception. I care about what reality is. And this is just a beautiful thing. Football is great.
Shout out John Mateer, by the way. Every time I turn on an OU game, I'm like, wow, that guy's got a lot of Bo Nix in him.
Future quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Ooh, please don't
Interesting.
say that.
Interesting.
I want to root for the guy. I want him to have a chance.
Jordan Way, I can't say the same for your Miami Hurricanes over there, but at least those at least the Denver Broncos are flying high. Jerry Judyless.
Yeah, they are. They are. I'll admit. But yeah, I really don't care how the wins come. I know a lot of people on social media like to nitpick everything, but it looks like as each week passes and we see each and every other game unfold, our wins are becoming better and better, and it looks a lot better on our schedule. We just saw the Texans beat the Bills on, what was it, Thursday night, and now that win looks a lot better. There's just a whole bunch of other games that just look a lot grittier than we thought, and we only thought that the Broncos were in those games, but other teams are also in those games as well. Just saw the Chiefs beat the Colts in a weird game, and now that win looks even better. So it's just funny how when the Broncos first do it, it's a problem, but then when we see other teams do it, it's kind of like the norm now. So I'm just proud that the Broncos are going to keep winning and stuff, and they've won in every single way you can imagine. They've won in blowouts, shootouts, close games, nail biters, game-winning field goals. So this team knows how to win.
Brandon?
Couldn't agree more. Pretty much everything that everyone has said is what I was going to say. But the thing that I'll kind of add on to all of that is this is certainly not where I envisioned this season going, heading into Bo Nix's sophomore year. And you kind of talk about, like, okay, is he going to have the sophomore slump? What's it going to look like? And I think there were some questions going into this year as well that kind of played into that narrative in terms of, like, okay, what are we going to do to fix the running game? Because the running game was kind of one of our bigger weaknesses. And what are we going to do to add just some more physicality to this defense? Obviously, you get Hufanga, who pretty much does that all by himself, and then you get Greenlaw coming back. But then going into this season, it just kind of gave you everything you wanted to see and wanted to get out of the season, and still, like, the best way I could describe it is reminded you that Bo is a rookie, because you see, like, him playing fairly poorly for some of these games for the 75% of the game, and then you get into the fourth quarter when he's able to relax and maybe not even relax isn't the right word, just kind of realize like, okay, I gotta sling it. Like I can't play scared. I gotta just like I have no choice. I'm backed into a corner. I gotta do what I gotta do, right? And I think that's going to do more for his development than really anything. I mean, yeah, continuity is great. Yeah, we could use some more weapons on this offense, but when you are put into those situations and you like really have no choice but to like your back's against the wall, you have no choice but to fight out of it. Like that just can only make you better. And really the thing that this team is finally able to believe in and kind of believe in themselves about is that they can beat anyone. And I feel like you have guys on this team, specifically like even in Garrett Bowles, who talked about this a few years ago. And he's like, basically, hey, everything that has happened here since I've gotten here is we've just lost. We've lost in every way possible. And it's kind of turning around a little bit for him, which is one, just great to see and great for him that he's able to see that his career isn't just going to be about losing. And now we're kind of more on the other side where it's okay. Like, yeah, they're not great games. They're going to be ugly, but we're finding ways to win. And the more this team believes that it can beat anyone and the more that Bo continues to develop and learn. I mean, you're seeing it right now this year with the later bloomers, as you might call them, in Sam Darnold, who obviously was great last year, but then it goes to a whole nother program and you're like, okay, was it KOC or was it just like the amazing environment around him in Minnesota that was kind of propelling that success, and goes to a totally different scheme, different team, different personnel. I mean, yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba is pretty much the best wide receiver in football right now, but you see JJ McCarthy struggles and it's like, okay, Sam Darnold was still kind of figuring it out. Daniel Jones is still kind of figuring it out and kind of getting it together. So you are realizing like these guys need some extra seasoning, if you will. And Bo, while he's not looked great, and yes, I have been the one to say plenty of times on this show that I don't think he's looked that good. Yeah, I think this is not how I was expecting the season to go, but I think it's definitely for the best. And if anything, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Might I say really quick that Bo Nix in the fourth quarter, he might channel his alter ego 9.
Get out of here. That guy sucks.
With
I think so. I think we see 9 show up in the fourth quarter, baby.
It seems appropriate with it being Michigan Ohio State week. No, I just think that with it being Bo, I mean, it's just like I will take a quarterback that is going to be on those fourth quarter, and wins like that, and have it at such a young point in his career. That'll do so much for his development, and having it happen now at that early point in his career, frankly, is a great thing. Like it is a great thing. So I guess, and Brandon, you touched on Bo and everything. Like it's just like, and I'll ask you guys, David and Strez. You're the guests. But like, how would you grade Bo Nix's season? Right, like he definitely has had his ups and downs. Right, he's had his ups and downs, but that moment that switch turns on, it's like a completely different animal. Like it is truly one where you're looking at a top 7 quarterback, right? Like, and there's one where when they needed to have it, right? Like they needed to have it in terms of a game and the most important game that they've had in the last 10 years, he turns on it and he cooks Steve Spagnuolo's defense for all 4 quarters, and wins it in the fourth quarter. So David, kind of take us through how you're feeling overall about your confidence in Mr. 10.
All right. Yeah. Bo Nix, he gets a B grade on the season, and that's because your performance in the fourth quarter is more important than how it looks maybe in the first half or in the first 3 quarters of games. But, it hasn't been how I've liked it to look, man. His footwork can be all over the place. It seems like sometimes he comes in extra jittery. Is he just having, new dad nerves? I don't know what it is, but we saw him settle down in the Chiefs game. That was great. But you just want to see more consistency. So I think, we're having inconsistent quarterback play, but we're still 9-2 right now. Yeah, he's played good when the moment has mattered the most. So I weight that a little bit higher than the first 3 quarters. But man, I ain't gonna glaze him, give him an A grade right now. If he was playing at an A grade level, we'd be talking about him as being an MVP candidate. He's not there right now. But hey, when you compare him to the rest of the 2024 draft class, he's right on schedule, if not slightly ahead. JJ McCarthy, disaster. Michael Penix, disaster. Caleb Williams, I would still say Bo Nix is ahead of him, even though he's showing great strides this year. And Drake May's had a fantastic year. So I've always felt that he was a top 3 quarterback in that class, and he's playing like it.
Strez, you and we talked, right, like in preseason. So has this met your expectations of where things have gone with Bo?
Moments have. I mean, I think that the thing that people like to look at his EPA per play and his ADOT and his FUCK or whatever, people are throwing out these dumb acronyms all the time. It's like, what are we talking about? Do you watch the football game? Bo Nix doesn't take sacks. Bo Nix doesn't turn the football over.
Yes.
If that was always kind of the biggest problem when it came to having like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
The offense is the exact same offense as Russell Wilson's last year here. The only difference is Bo Nix isn't taking a sack that loses 12 yards and then we punt to the opposing team and they are a first down away from being in field goal range. Right? That's kind of part of the game that goes into it, and if you do a side-by-side comparison on, his stats through 11 games this year to last year, he has taken a step forward. Statistically speaking, Bo Nix has taken a step forward. And I think the Bo that we got in that Chiefs game from start to finish, second play to finish, because that first drop back, he took a sack. I was like, uh-oh, this is not going to be fun. I think all of our buttholes clenched at the same time at that point. Like as soon as we saw him go down, I was like, oh God, this is not good. But then he locked in for the rest of the game. And I think the performance that we got out of Bo the entirety of the Chiefs game was, I think, the Bo that we were all expecting to see this season. Sans a few touchdown passes. It would have been nice to see him get, a touchdown or two in that game. But
the streak did get over with.
Yeah, 295 against that Chiefs defense in a not a must-win game, but
a game where
you needed to win. Yeah, you needed to win that football game. So yeah, I think Bo, he still has some development to do. He still has some things to work on, but I think the things that he needs to work on are things that can absolutely be coached. And the one thing you can't coach is a winner. And Bo Nix is 1,000% a winner. Like, did you guys see that clip of Vance Joseph that came out yesterday or the day before, where he's like, Bo Nix is very much John Elway, and I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, sign me up for a decade. I'm fully in. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Bo. I think there are times where I'm just like, that did not look good. That was a rough watch. And then there's other times where I'm like, wow, Bo Nix is literally the greatest quarterback I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. So I need him to find that happy medium and just stay there. If we get top 15 quarterback play with the way this defense is and the run game that we've slowly developed, this team could win a lot more games.
I have a theory. It's kind of like a 2-part theory on this, and I'm not going to wax poetic too long. We all know Sean Payton gets a little too cute at times. Like, throw it out to Cortland Sutton, and maybe he could throw it to someone else on 3rd and 1, stuff like that. I think that, one, he does see immense potential in Bo, and maybe he overloads his plate with too much at times. And then it's like he swings the pendulum the other way, where he's like, man, I've got the best defense maybe of all time within some metrics. And hey, let's just get the hell out of this field position. Let's flip it. Let's go get the ball back. Maybe something happens, special teams, and we play a war of attrition. So I feel like he hasn't found that happy medium until he has to. And that's when he's like, hey, Bo, it's fourth quarter. We got to go, bro. Just make it happen. And Bo's not thinking about things. Like, he's not like overthinking, I'd say. He's going. I think that matters, because when players can just perform, they could just go and play, and they're not in their head first. Like, you get to see all of their potential and all of their talent. I think that at times, Bo Nix has been like Forrest Gump with the braces on, and he hasn't been told to run Forrest run at times. And then it gets to the fourth quarter, and you see him just freaking go. And it's like, oh, well, there's that. Now you're going to set all kinds of records and be maybe the best player ever. Like it. So I think that Payton, for all the good he has, I think it's like Jekyll and Hyde a lot of times. And that doesn't really allow Bo to be Bo as much as we would like.
Yeah, what did Sean Payton call him? In
Ferris Bueller.
Here's where Cameron goes berserk.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, I don't know. It's one where you still kind of see it in him, right? But I think if there is one thing, and there's multiple, but if there's one thing we can say is that entire locker room, that entire staff, that entire franchise is behind him. Jordan, like, I mean, you kind of have a tendency to clip, a lot of different things on that Sleeper Broncos account and everything, but like, there was something even that I noticed on Dave Logan's and Benny Fowler's pod that is on DNVR, which fantastic pod, by the way. If you guys haven't actually had a chance to see Benny Fowler's and Dave Logan's pod on DNVR, I highly, highly recommend checking it out. But he said something like 2 weeks ago that was like, which could tell us what happened in certain regimes. But he said, on record, off record, they haven't said anything in regard to quarterback play when it comes to Bo Nix this year. It means that they are so far in on Bo Nix as a quarterback that the support is through the roof for that organization.
I mean, have you guys also heard? It came out, I think, today or maybe even yesterday. Garrett Bowles was with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Whitworth, and he's just raving about Bo and talking about like when he first met him and how he was and stuff like that. Like hearing all those things now, like I don't know how to describe it, because again, we haven't had this in like a decade, so we really haven't had a whole lot to cheer for. But just getting all these cool stories out and stuff like that is just so awesome. And one thing on the Bo part, like during games and his performance, I feel like he's also a lot better. And I know Tony Romo mentioned this during the Chiefs game, but when Sean Payton gets the call out quick, can go up there and like he can read the coverage
Noticeably better.
When he's up there with like 10 to 15 seconds on the play clock and he can read the defense and all that, go through his reads pre-snap. I think he's just a lot better. And I think hopefully now after the bye week, Sean Payton starts getting that part down a little bit. I know there's still going to be times where, play clock's going to be running down. We got to go. But I just thought that was very meaningful when Romo said that. And I think everybody agrees when he said that. Another thing is, I think Chris Sims said it best the other week on his video and his podcast. Bo Nix is also doing this. Like, he's struggling and all that, but, he's also putting up numbers. But he's doing this without a superstar on the offense. Like, there really isn't a superstar that can bail him out each game. So for him to be doing that, hopefully in the offseason, I know we can talk about all the possibilities and stuff, but right now there is still a very slim margin of error for Bo, just with the guys around him. And they're not, I'm not saying they're the worst, but they're obviously not, the best in terms of they can bail them out in certain situations. But for Bo Nix to continue to play like this and win games like this, it's pretty special.
Yeah, and we'll still go around the horn, but obviously we would be remiss if we didn't talk about a certain something or some things, 3 different somethings that happened in this bye week. The Broncos had a few players whose contract was up, and they rewarded them, right? They rewarded them, and you could say that one of them is the MVP of the
Luke
season,
Wattenberg, baby.
Of this season, and it all started with Will Lutz coming down the pike with the first contract extension. He got a contract extension, and then the one that kind of surprised everybody was Luke Wattenberg. Luke Wattenberg ended up getting a contract extension, and then the one that just broke today was Malcom Roach, a 3-year, $29 million deal. Brandon, let's just start with you and just continue going around. But your thoughts, man? As the Broncos also, I will say, don't seem to disappoint, because it's like they don't sit still when it comes to a bye week. Because if I'm not mistaken, they did this last year, right? Like they did this last year where they were like a bye week and they agreed to some deals on some of the players that were getting ready to hit free agency.
Yeah, the Broncos don't mess around when it comes to paying their own players. And this is something that I think most of the teams in the NFL need to take notes on. And I mean, like, yeah, there's some good ones. The Rams are usually pretty good about paying their guys, but it just feels like we are always ahead of the curve, which I love. Will Lutz, I mean, it's hard to find a consistent kicker. And yeah, he's had some moments where he, might have let the team down a little bit, but he's still a very good kicker. So that was well deserved. The one that I think confuses most people, and I would put myself in that category, was Wattenberg. But he's played pretty well. Like, he's not a bad center. He's just not the most athletic guy, so he's not the best run blocker. Like, those two kind of go hand in hand. But in terms of pass protection, he's up there with some of the best. And there was really only one good free agent center available. And Linderbaum,
He ain't making it free agency, dude.
Baltimore. Yeah, he's not getting out of Baltimore. And I say available in free agency loosely. Like, he was going to be a free agent technically this offseason, but he's not going to be available. So it makes sense to me to pay him. And then Malcom Roach, dude, is just an ass kicker on the defensive line. Just an amazing run blocker. Probably the best run blocker. I mean, definitely the best run blocker on the team. One of the better run blockers in the NFL. So I'm happy with really all three extensions. I think the money on Wattenberg was a little surprising, but as much
not
as
10 a year or
people
more
seem to dislike paying him, I do get it.
Yeah. Jordan, we'll just continue going all the way around.
Yeah, when it comes to Luke Wattenberg, I mean, I was a little confused as well when it came to that. I have voiced my concerns with Wattenberg. I think we actually did an episode with Strez talk about Wattenberg, if I'm not mistaken. And we just voiced out everything about him. But the contract's funny because I've heard the two different opinions on it, like on social media, which of course you can hear anything on there. But like, I saw a lot of people saying it was a good contract, and then saw a lot of people saying it was a bad contract. Haven't heard really the medium, like the middle part of it. So I still don't know what to think about the contract, if I'm being quite honest. I guess I have to see what happens in the offseason with centers and what they get, and then kind of compare and contrast when it comes to that. But yeah, when I got that notification, I was I'll say I was shocked, to say the least, that Wattenberg got an extension and that it was in the works. I didn't know that was even in the works at all.
Yeah. Maddie?
So let's play a drinking game when we watch the Broncos. And every time there's a snap that looks like it was an underhand toss for a toddler, back to
a high snap.
Take a shot. You'll be surprised if you're actually looking for it, how often that happens. You're like, can the ball just get to him already, please? So that's pretty frustrating. And I'm like, do they even practice it during the week, or is it like, we'll just screw it. We'll just show up and go. We'll figure it out. So there's that. But overall, with as good as a lot of the other pieces are in the line, every offensive line has a weakest link, and that's just been Wattenberg in a lot of degrees. But if you compare him to his peers, I think that's where we've been spoiled a little bit, because if you compare him to the rest of the league and what they're having to deal with, maybe it's not so bad. I think that we are still seeing sticker shock for some of these contracts. We're like, man, how much a year? When we just think about just a short while ago, how much was Cortland making a year?
Right.
you're like, well, certainly Wattenberg's not on the Cortland level of importance. And that's just the way that things are going with contracts. But again, continuity, having a center and a quarterback go into another year together. I just think like that's only going to benefit, the team. Those snaps got to get down and they got to get there a little quicker. That's all.
Yeah.
Zach Streif, you know the mission.
That's right.
I trust Zach Streif to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That out.
Stress.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Malcom Roach getting brought back. Not as excited about Wattenberg's contract taking money away from JFM, but the good news, I think, with the JFM likely not getting brought back, we could potentially find a way to finish. I wouldn't put anything past our owners to be able to get something done for a guy like John Franklin Myers. But if he doesn't come back and the team is okay watching that happen, that must mean that there's something pretty sweet there with Savion Jones, which obviously we haven't had a chance to really see much of this season. But like when that guy's out on the field, I'm like, wait a second, when did Chris Jones join the Denver Broncos? This is like, he's got that kind of body. I'm not saying that he's, that kind of player. But I mean, there is a world in which like
he does 95.
I think he does like that, and that's kind of really what does it for me. But
yeah,
that is going to be a bummer if we're not able to bring JFM back next season. But I do like having Malcom Roach back. I think Malcom Roach is one of those guys, that David and I talked about at the beginning of the season, right? Like there's a specific type of player that the Broncos haven't really had on their team for a while. We have a name for him. We give one out every single Thursday. But Malcom Roach is kind of one of those guys. He brings a little bit of extra fire. He's, Talanoa Hufanga does the same thing. Dre Greenlaw does the same thing. There was a point where we didn't have any of those guys on the defense, and now we have at least three. And sometimes when it looks like Riley Moss has done some sort of substance in the locker room at halftime and is like screaming at his teammates on the sidelines with his eyes wide open, like he can be one of those players too. So it is cool to be able to have a guy that you're going to have on the team that's kind of, brings the fire with him and everything. But I think the one that probably should get the most attention, but isn't, is the Will Lutz signing.
Yeah.
Honestly, he has been, statistically speaking, he is the best kicker the Denver Broncos have ever had. I would like, yeah, better, like percentage wise, he is the best kicker we've ever had. I would like to see him be able to like be more consistent on those really long kicks and have a kicker that we can trust to be like, oh, this is going to be a 61-yarder. Yeah, let's kick it. Like that would be sweet if we were able to have like a Cam Little or a Brandon Aubrey type leg.
Yeah.
But we just don't. And that's fine. If we can get Crawshaw to really like hone in on the shorter punts and land in the coffin corners, the defense will take care of business there. But I think having a kicker that is almost as automatic as Will Lutz is, like that is a huge benefit, because there are those games where it's just like, we are not scoring a touchdown today, and I think everyone in the stadium knows it, and I hope that Will Lutz is confident in what he's doing. And I think Sean Payton is incredibly confident in Will Lutz. And I think when it comes to the center thing, there is a lot that gets put on Luke Wattenberg's plate. It's good to have him there with your young quarterback, as he's still figuring out protections and, pointing out, where the mic is, all that kind of stuff. It's good to have a center there that's got a little bit of that experience as well.
Get the high intelligence on that one.
Yeah, they can kind of hive brain that, and you can hide him with, as good as our guard. Like once we,
when are we getting Powers back?
Yeah, I don't know when Powers is coming back, but like our guard play has been fine even without Ben Powers. But at the height of our offensive line, you can hide a bad center with Quinn Miners and Ben Powers. So, I think it's. I overreacted, I think, on Twitter, but that's what everybody does on Twitter. That's what Twitter's for, is to overreact on.
I was gonna say, if you're not overreacting on Twitter, you're doing it wrong.
Literally. So, yeah.
David?
All right. I got to put my horse head on for this one. Because, hey, listen, guys. Nobody should be against this Luke Wattenberg contract, dude. I think it is ridiculous. I'll try and keep my language appropriate. is ridiculous, dude, about Luke Wattenberg. I know he had that terrible game against the Cincinnati Bengals, but since then, man, like I think he's been playing above average football at the center position relative to the rest of the NFL. And we're talking about a Super Bowl window. It makes no sense to enter this era and just hope you can find a right center that's an upgrade against over Luke Wattenberg in free agency or in the draft. That is a huge risk. Now, yes, you're kind of paying for knowing what you get, but let's not freak out. He's the lowest paid guy still on the offensive line. And if you're looking at this contract come April, he's going to be fringe top 10. This might be slightly on the outside of the top 10 paid highest paid centers on an AAV scale. That's exactly where he should be. And maybe that is like a slight overpay, but then you're overpaying a little bit. You're willing to pay that for the continuity, for the experience, for the chemistry with Bo. Yes, his snaps, it irks me too. But if that's really the worst thing about his game right now, I think that can be correctable. Why hasn't it been corrected yet? I don't know. But guys, we got like no dead money on our salary cap. So let's say in 2 years, he's just not it at 30 years old. You've already maybe drafted his replacement. Going to be minimal dead money to move off of him. I think it's a very low risk. And again, it just gives you that continuity or insurance you're going to have with Bo Nix. So I thought that he was an extension candidate coming into this week. I thought that it was going to be like a 2-year bridge deal. I think it probably looks more like a 3. But I guarantee you, dude, if Luke Wattenberg and some of these other centers that are kind of playing relative to his play right now, or maybe slightly under, watch them get between $15 and $20 million in free agency. Just watch.
Yeah. Well, and it's, I think I even made the point, and it goes back to the whole continuity point, because that's like probably numero uno when it comes to Wattenberg is continuity. And I made the point on Twitter. It's like, it's like in baseball. It's like in baseball when you have a pitcher who is very comfortable with a catcher that he's working with, right? Mm-hmm. And he wants to work with that catcher. Like, he doesn't necessarily want to work with any other catcher. He wants to work with said catcher because that's exactly the chemistry that he has. And the chemistry that Bo Nix has with Luke Wattenberg is good right now. And I think that when you are starting to kind of see things trend in the direction of run blocking and his pass blocking is still there, it means things are kind of trending upwards, I feel like, in the direction of Luke Wattenberg.
Yes.
And so it's just overall, it's really about the chemistry and the continuity of this team. And I understand the draft, a center thing for sure, Rich A, but it still falls back on that continuity because you're asking a center in drafting him, which I assume they would be drafting one high, to come into a situation where he would be the starter and learn a whole new experience that Luke would already have a leg up on, right? Like, so I just think that continuity, number one, is like the biggest thing when it comes to that contract.
I feel like asking a rookie center to come in, even if we drafted one high, like let's say we do that, that's not a bad idea. But asking him as a rookie to come in and play to the level that he would need to play to meet what in all likelihood is looking at high expectations in making a deep playoff run. I'm not saying another deep playoff run, but like, we're 9-2 this year. I just feel like that's really tough. And at the very least, like, have Luke under center as an insurance option, under contract as a center as an insurance option. And then if you can draft a guy, you like him, great, develop him. Maybe he could take over if Luke struggles next year, or he's your replacement guy in a year, 2 years. But I definitely think, like, even if you invest high capital in a center in the draft, like, that is not a position where I feel like you can just trust a rookie to play, given where we are hoping to be.
Yeah. And frankly, the best center that they've had was Matt Paradis. Like I mean, and if there is one thing, and funny enough, like even the Elway days, even though people still will say Elway is the GM, by the way.
Wait,
but,
he's not?
No, he's not, unfortunately. Breaking news. John Elway is not running the football team. But no, it's just like when you look at the thing that happened in those Elway years, that offensive line went through so much, not counting Garrett Bowles, but went like through so much like people on that offensive line. There were so many mixing and matching, specifically the right tackle situation. It was bad, right? Like it was so bad with that offensive line that they needed this continuity, and they finally have it. And look, I'm not necessarily you guys know this, right? Like I'm not the biggest Luke Wattenberg fan, but it's just in the grand scheme of things, the continuity was the biggest thing in favor of that contract. And I obviously, when Linderbaum gets extended by Baltimore, he gets his new deal. He'll be out of the top 5, right? Like he's already the 5th highest paid center. He'll end up being out of the top 5. And then at that point, I think that's when some of the people might end up coming down to earth and be like, okay, he's not necessarily the 5th highest paid center. He's in that, as you said, David, like he's in that like 10th range, if you will, or just above 10 highest paid centers. And that's not bad at all.
No.
Moving forward, we hit 40 minutes, gents, without talking about the best thing about this entire Denver Broncos team. And I figured that it's appropriate
Lucas Kroll time, baby.
To just ask it this way. The 2025 Denver Broncos defense or the 2015 Denver Broncos defense? Are we on a trend for this Denver Broncos defense in 2025 that is on par or close to the 2015 Broncos defense? We'll start with you, David.
We're almost there. We need to start forcing more of the turnovers, but in terms of having this ability to close, I feel very confident in them finishing fourth quarters right now. Again, legendary pass rush. Just need to start forcing the turnovers a little bit more. Catch the ball.
Yep. And obviously it's a joke, obviously, because the 2015 defense is historic. It's the best defense of all time. It's just when you're a Bronco fan and all the conversation of the defense is this is the best defense we've seen since 2015. Yeah, it's low-hanging fruit, stress.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's the closest defense we've had since the 2015 defense. And like David said, like we need to start forcing more takeovers. How does DeAndre Tillman have the most interceptions on this defense? Can someone make that make sense to me?
I will say he's a better tight end than Lucas Kroll, though.
I don't know about that. There's a certain guy in Broncos media that says that Lucas Kroll is the best player on the team. But I think I don't know, some of those balls that hit Huff right in the belly button, he's gonna pull those in eventually.
Yeah.
Pat Surtain practiced today. We got the best cornerback in the league back. He's gonna be playing this coming Sunday. And we're playing against Marcus Mariota. This could be a chance for us to kind of put some of those takeaways in the in the turnover column. So yeah, I think that they definitely need to start taking the ball away. I do think as a whole unit, the pass rush is much better overall, but there's no one like 2015 Von Miller. There will never be another person like 2015 Von Miller. I think Nick Bonito can get close, but I just don't think that he's going to be there. Got it. He proved me wrong this year after I talked about him last year. I was like, I think that was just kind of I think he kind of stumbled into those sacks last year, and then he's gone out this year and has done the exact same thing. So I think where we could improve is off ball linebacker. That's the conversation we have all the time. I think this linebacker class specifically this season coming out is incredibly talented. And I hate talking draft, but if I get to talk about linebackers, in this draft class, I will talk about linebackers in this draft class. I think there's 3 that really stand out to me.
Ohio State.
2 of them
at Ohio State. On that Hill Jr.
Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, and then Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. That kid is unbelievably talented at playing the linebacker position. So there's a lot of opportunities there that they could improve at, kind of at that inside linebacker spot. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference between that 2015 defense and where this current defense ends up at.
And Maddie, and then we'll get to Jordan and Brandon.
I see some similarities. If you want to compare them, the 2015 was better on the back end. I think that this unit, and statistically it's proven, is better on the front end. The middle of the field is certainly weaker now as a composite than the 2015 team was. Brandon Marshall and Danny Trevathan were just incredible. They hit their run fits, and they could cover tight ends. They could run with slot receivers. They could do whatever you needed them to do. They had so much versatility on defense. That's been kind of a liability for us, the Singletons, and we haven't been so healthy. We just got Dre back, and now we're seeing the fruit of that. So, I mean, over the last several weeks, it looks a lot different than running backs and tight ends coverage looked at the beginning of the season. So maybe it's not a fair comparison. Also, we've been without the defensive player of the year. That's just insane to think that we've been able to maintain this level of excellence without our best player on our team. And so, like, you take any team's best player away, that side of the ball is going to crumble. And we just keep humming along, even with boxing gloves on for the cracker back. Like, it does not matter. We could give up 90 yards in pass interference and still manage to beat Mahomes. Like, I mean, at this point, is the Denver Broncos defense 2025? Is it Thanos? Is it inevitable? I think so. And we haven't seen its final form yet. I know I'm mixing a lot of things together, but like, we're going to get PS2 back. Dre's just getting into the rhythm.
Looks like this week too. PS2.
We got Hufanga that's like fully integrated now, and if he ever learns to catch a ball, like, look out. So yeah, we're not quite on 2015 level, but we also don't have all of hindsight yet. We could be looking in February and say, you know what, does it even matter?
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna feel so good when we see Hufanga catch an interception
Finally
against Drake May and go to the Super Bowl. It's gonna be so great when he catches it
against Drake May. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, at home it's gonna be so good. But yeah, in comparing like the defense of 2015, like 2015, that defense, like, they single-handedly like won us the Super Bowl. Like, you really can't compare them right now to this 2025 defense. Like how everyone has said, it's the forcing the turnovers for this unit. They just got to force more. I know Riley Moss has had his fair share of penalties, whether right or wrong. I know a lot of them have been questionable, but at the end of the day, that still, stings the defense, whether you like it or not. But yeah, the defense can get to that level. I mean, if everything goes as planned and the Broncos take care of business, and at the end of the day, they make that run, we can have that conversation and really compare the two. But I mean, that 2015 defense was special.
Yeah.
Brandon, you're smiling a little bit.
You can't really say that this is. You can't make that comparison yet. Is what I was going to say, but I will. The reason I was smiling, Maddie, I see your Danny Trevathan, and I will raise you one Jade Barron, because he's been pretty damn good against tight ends. But no, I agree with what you said about the linebacking core. Yeah, I think, man, it's so hard to compare the two, because I do think, obviously, the 2015 defense, one of the best of all time. The positive regression in takeaways is going to hit different for the 2025 Broncos defense. But this is definitely the closest I think we've gotten in terms of that 2015 defense. So hopefully, because Bo is playing better than the ghost of Peyton Manning was in 2015, we'll be able to go on a nice little run here in the playoffs where anything can happen. But I do think while we're close, nothing touches that 2015 defense.
Yep. And like I said, it's low-hanging fruit. I know that question's been out there. we do a Broncos podcast, you might as well ask the question, even though we all know that answer. By the way, T asks the question to you, Strez.
Oh, yeah.
Which Buckeye do you want the Broncos to draft in the first round, and why is it Avril Reese?
It's not.
Dang it.
Because I need them to draft the rights to Jeremiah Smith a year ahead of time, because that man is something special. I don't know if you can even do that. I feel like you can. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, if they obviously my first choice is to draft the rights to Jeremiah Smith because he is the best wide receiver I've ever seen with my own two eyes. But Arvell Reese would be incredible. Sonny Styles would be incredible. Caleb Downs would be incredible. We don't really need him though.
We said that about Barron.
True. Carnell Tate would be awesome on this offense. Max Clare is a really talented tight end. There's dogs all over that team. But I would think that where we'll be picking at 32, it'll be tough to get any of those guys. So
you're saying that we just need to just trade for Jalen Waddle and then be aggressive to trade 2 first-round picks for Justin Jefferson and then still trade for Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, or just go out, win the Super Bowl this year, and then tank next year, and then get Jeremiah Smith first overall. That if I was the guy who ran the team, that would be my plan.
Okay.
You think we could trade for Justin Jefferson? You think he might be available?
I think he likes 9.
I mean, at this rate, the way things are going with Minnesota, which kudos to Sean Payton for trolling the entire state of Minnesota for drafting J.J. McCarthy. He looks like a genius.
Dude, he's the diva I would want, Justin Jefferson. He catches the ball.
If Max Brosmer looks good, they're in trouble.
I think the starting point would have to be 2 firsts, right? 2 firsts and whatever it is that you want after that.
No, thank you.
That's a lot of first rounds.
I'm doing it.
Thank you.
Shit, I'd trade 5 first rounds for Jeremiah Smith. Shit, I'll trade my kid if I had one.
All right, so let's get into this game. Let's get into the Broncos are back. They are back playing the Washington Commanders. It is the who finished third in the head coaching race between Dan Quinn and Sean Payton Bull. So obviously, it's going to be one that is exciting. The reason why it stayed on primetime is because the Denver Broncos are 9-2. They are second in the AFC. They are the best team in the AFC, contrary to New England Patriots opinions. So Brandon, let's start with you. I know you're getting ready to head out here in just a second, but I know you're dying to say how much this is going to be a blowout and that the Denver Broncos are going to win 56-10, and they'll go home and they'll watch the highlights of Ohio State, Michigan, and Nebraska beat Iowa on Friday.
Oh, man. I do think the Broncos are going to take care of business. And my bold take for this game is, my weekly bold take is Hufanga finally gets an INT. No,
like that's like a recurring, he's going to do it.
That's the recurring bold take because, man, he's been so close. I felt so bad for him when he didn't get that pick against Pat last week, but it's fine. RJ Harvey's going to have his first 100-yard rushing game, though, because the Commanders cannot stop the run. Their defense is not that good in general, but their running defense specifically is pretty bad. So I do think we're probably going to win this game. Man, I think it's going to be like I don't know if I'm going to say it's a blowout just because you never know what's going to happen and it's borderline a trap game. But I'm thinking this is going to be like a 24-13 Broncos kind of win. Like we're going to win by multiple scores. And again, RJ Harvey's going to have his first 100-yard rushing game.
Okay. I see you, David. I see you.
And with that, I do have to go cook some food. But
there is Thanksgiving
go
tomorrow.
Broncos.
That's tomorrow. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
You want to explain yourself, David?
Dude, I mean, we saw Sean play Jaleel more than I expected against the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's not going to surprise me, dude, to see him somehow get more work than RJ, man. I hate it, but there's just a gut feeling I have that he's going to be the leading rusher against Washington.
Frankly, I think at this point, because Sean Payton's gotten so cute, nothing would surprise us at this point. What is it? Adam Prentice could have 100 yards rushing, and I don't think it would surprise any of us. That's a joke. But I don't know. I think. What do you say, Jordan? Is this gonna be one where the Broncos crack 30 points?
I have like a weird score on this one. I have a 26-15 game for the Broncos. I legit think the Commanders might kick 5 field goals in this game and get it to 15. And then the Broncos get a 26. But I do believe the rest is going to play a major factor in the Broncos offense. I thought against the Chiefs game, that mini bye week really helped the offense. I think they looked a lot more rejuvenated and just fresh. And I am hoping, for the love of God, that this Commanders game, that bye week really paid off and they look like just a different unit. And I am also hoping that Marvin Mims plays more than 20% of the snaps on offense, and he can be an actual wide receiver and not just a punt returner.
He's not. He's not just pandering to Mr. Boomer Sooner here on the in the bottom left over here.
Yeah,
I mean,
he didn't have a target, right, in that Chiefs game?
I don't believe so, or unless there was a little wide receiver swing pass, if we're still counting those. I don't know. But it'd be nice to see him used as an actual wide receiver, you know?
Not just the mountain swings that they like to call. And
As I remember the times where he used to run routes down the field and you would target him, and
he's got Mims
with the ball.
I don't know. He didn't throw the ball to me anyways.
Oh,
All
so-
timer.
good call back on that one.
But yeah, I would just love Mims to get involved more down the field and be an actual wide receiver. But I know that's a lot to ask for when it comes to this offense and personnel and whatever the hell that goes on a weekly basis.
Maddie, I know you're just dying to say that, you know, this needs to be the Marvin Mims 300-yard all-purpose game for not just punt return yardage, but him being in the offensive game plan.
So, you know, it's kind of counterintuitive. Sometimes when a team is on a streak, sometimes the best thing for them
If it ain't broke,
is a loss. Because it refocuses them, it gets them aligned, and that shit's not happening this week. we are going to annihilate Washington. Like, I think it's going to be easily a 14-point win. Their implied team total is 19. Tell me how the heck they're supposed to score 19 points. They may not even get in the red zone once. Like, yeah. And that's not me being hyperbolic. Like, I just don't see a path for that to happen for them. And yeah, of course, Marvin Mims needs touches, and he needs to run the ball, run downfield, and put stress on defenses. When we had to have it against Cincinnati, he went up and got it in double coverage. We were playing like garbage for a bit against the Browns, deep in our territory. F it, 19 down there somewhere, and he catches it and houses it. The guy makes plays. Why the heck? Again, Forrest Gump with the braces. Are we doing the same thing with Mims and just a little bit of operation? Line him up in the backfield. Let's throw a little cute screen. Let's bring him in motion. We know it's going to go out to him in the flat. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're supposed to be this offensive genius, coach. Like, Mims is a talent.
Yep.
You can't scheme him open downfield. McVay would.
Oh.
Shanahan would.
He schemes open Tutu Atwell for crying out loud.
Give me C gap inserts. I want to start seeing that from the Denver Broncos. Watching Puka Nacua run that on the Rams last week was just incredible stuff.
You know,
Incoming swing pass.
not to make this a pro Pat Bryant, thing on this, because I heard someone say that they may be saving Pat Bryant for the playoffs. I wonder if they're almost like saving Marvin Mims for the playoffs, or at least a push, if you will, for the play. But that's just what I'm wondering, because like the thing I keep coming back to, because I agree, like they need to be using Marvin Mims, right? But it's just it's so bizarre to me, because last year at that midway point to the end of the year, Marvin Mims was like the offense. He was the X factor. He was the offense. And it's one of the reasons why I kind of compared him to Harbin. Like, I never understood the Deebo Samuel comps, right? Well, for one, he's not fat like him. He's not overweight.
He's a little husky.
He's not a little overweight like him. He's built like Percy Harvin, and he's also fast and quick. And I'd argue he has like the second best hands on the team, behind Cortland Sutton
and Dondre Tillman,
and apparently Dondre Tillman. But I just think that, like, when you look at it just from the standpoint of how they used him, what's stopping you from not using him that way now, right? Like, so I agree with everything, because it's just like he is ultimately the X factor of the team. And as much as I'm enjoying the fact that they are trusting Troy Franklin, they're trusting Troy Franklin with basically their entire offense right now. I think if there is one player that I would force feed more than anything, it would be Marvin Mims than Troy Franklin. I love Troy. I mean, he's had definitely an improvement year when it comes to last year. But Marvin Mims was 100% the player that I would be featuring.
I would just say to that now that we have little Jordan Humphrey to steal snaps from him, it's going to make things a lot more interesting. So, yeah, can't wait for the little Jordan Humphrey package a lot more in the playoffs.
So that's why little Jordan Humphrey tweeted after the game, and he just said, bet. Because Jordan...
Maybe he is betting. Maybe we should check on that.
And Jordan was getting under his kid.
I don't know.
Jordan Love not happy.
But anyway, so about this game, though, I mean, obviously, like, still, like, Jaden Daniels will not be in this game. And I have to ask this. Obviously, we are Bronco fans, but on the outside looking at this whole situation, it's a bit of a sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels, David. Like, it's a bit of a sophomore slump, I feel, for Jaden Daniels. And actually, I would even say it's a bit unfortunate the way that, the number one head coach in the head coaching cycle, who should have been the Denver Broncos head coach, Dan Quinn, has handled the entire situation, out there in Washington. Because if he took him out of the game, right, he doesn't have a broken arm. And so it's an unfortunate situation. So how are we evaluating this other second-year quarterback, at this point, who won't be playing, right? Like, who won't be playing and probably shouldn't be playing the rest of the way?
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, his offense always just kind of caps out after like 9 games. So this is just kind of par for the course, man. We're going to have to see. I'm assuming Dan Quinn is going to hire a new offensive coordinator, but yeah, Bo has surpassed Jane Daniels. So is Caleb Williams. So is Drake May. That happens when your talent around you gets hurt and the coaching, only caps out at a certain level. So that's just how Cliff Kingsbury is, man. It's a bunch of gimmick stuff until it's figured out. So that's really what it is.
Stress.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate. I think they've mishandled everything, and I know that there was some conversation about them potentially bringing him back for this game, and I'm like,
No.
why would you bring back your injury-prone quarterback to play against the team that hits the quarterback the most out of any other team in the league? Like that
Exactly.
is just a dumb idea, and it's actually shocking that it's coming from a team that's ran by Dan Quinn. Like I thought Dan Quinn was smarter than that. And he's kind of been proving me wrong over the course of this year. Granted, I mean they've been dealing with the injury bug kind of all over the place. Like I actually just pulled up their injury report, and there are guys everywhere, right?
Mm.
3 of them were because of rest. 2 of them were an illness, but all the rest of them are injuries, and they're either on the IR or are limited practice and stuff, or coming out of concussion protocol. So it's just like, I hate the fact that the Broncos are going into Washington and playing a football game at this stadium in the first place. I don't know if you guys have thought about that at all this week, but I am.
There's a few bad fields. Yeah.
Yeah, I am terrified. It is one of the worst places in the NFL. So I just need this game to happen. We need to go in, take care of business, get out, and go home. Like that. That's just what needs to happen here. So,
yeah, Maddie.
On the field conversation, do you think that the NFL should mandate a specific playing surface for every team? Because, like, there's obviously something spooky at MetLife. Like, no ACL is safe in that place.
Without question.
Pittsburgh, notoriously by this time of year, especially considering that the Panthers are playing, on the same field, probably like maybe even like the day before. It's just bonkers to me how in 2025, a $1 billion organization, and we're dealing with this stuff, and we have to worry about playing surfaces.
I agree, Maddie. I agree.
I mean, frankly, the Broncos ownership is so grouped they could actually buy fields for every team in the National Football League and not just repair their own at Empower, but actually buy the field for all 31 other teams.
They should just do it for the teams that we have to travel to play at.
Yeah.
That'd be such a boss move.
That's like the biggest flex possible. Like, as they leave, they have one of those things behind their plane that says "Stop being poor." Like, that's what they should do.
Yeah.
Paris Hilton Penner.
Yep, exactly. Thank you for getting that.
So I mean, and obviously, I think it's fair to say all of us think that the Broncos are going to be beating Washington. But is there one area or a couple areas that are a cause for concern, if you will, if you're a Bronco fan going into this game, aside from the Chris Collinsworth glazing? But that's beside the point.
Yeah, if we can't run the ball in rainy conditions, man, that's going to be the real key to letting Washington in on this. Is if we can't sustain drives.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree.
Is it supposed to rain Sunday?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to
be a monsoon, dude.
Oh, not again! Poor Bo on national TV too.
Yeah, a guy can't catch a break right now.
This is why we brought in Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Yep, to run block.
Just run. Just Bo run. Just let Bo run.
I mean, I can only wish and pray.
Take the braces off.
Yeah, I mean that's only just been a huge talking point for mainly, I don't know, the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, I mean that Adam Prentice Wildcat's gonna hit that crack.
Or Adam Prentice jump pass. You know,
my God.
That would be sweet. As long as it's a double reverse pass back to Bo Nix, though, that's on 3rd and short. That's when they should call it.
With the backside George reverse.
Yeah.
Like
As the offense is in a complete rhythm, nothing can go wrong. Just call it.
And call it specifically into the boundary so that everything just happens really
So
quickly.
this isn't the game in which we activate A.T. Perry to throw some deep shots instead of Troy Franklin.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
An hour and 14 minutes in, he got the A.T. Perry ref.
Yeah, see, this is why we have David with the mic, is so that he can be able to promote that A.T. Perry. The propaganda. I will say though, Shards, and I know that like for the last 5 weeks, Jordan, we've been propping up the whole Bo Nix needs to run, and Maddie knows this too. Like being in, in our in chats and everything like that. It's just like if there's ever like we say it every week though. Like if there's ever a game where they need to legitimately use his legs, it's a game where if it's rainy and it's a bad weather condition, why not? Because I mean the thing that I said in 5280 last night was they did run the quarterback like power quarterback dive in that Chiefs game. I didn't mind the call at all. I think that when you see the vision of Bo on that play, that's just due to lack of reps. You give him more reps on that with that kind of play, he's far too smart to, run into an offensive lineman and pretend like he's Javonte Williams with the Denver Broncos. Like, it's just like you give him more reps on that, he's far more athletic where he can evade defenders and everything. So I think that if you can just be a little bit more creative on how you want to do that, I think that making sure that he uses his legs or even doing read options with Harvey and Bo, I think would be chef's kiss.
And he's smart enough where like he's not gonna take unnecessary hits and like put his head in and try to truck. Like he's not that type of guy. Like, he's gonna get down when he needs to get down and stuff like that. So like I see like these quarterbacks like Josh Allen, like the way Joe Brady runs them, the way like they run Lamar and stuff like that. Like I understand he's not those type of runners, but
He leads that one.
He can have a similar impact on running the ball like how they do. Like obviously he's not as dynamic as Lamar and all these faster guys, but he can have a similar impact and help out the running game for the Broncos. We've seen it before on those quarterback powers and stuff like that. I just hope one day we can see a lot more consistently, like in one game. And I think it'd be best to do in this game, just considering the conditions. But again, it's just such an uncertainty every week what we're going to get with the offense.
Jordan, I got a question for you. Do you think we need to be under center more? Do you think Bo needs to be under center more?
Yes. I've been preaching about that for the longest. I mean, the best offenses are always under center, and we're always in the gun. I don't understand there's been a whole like I've written about it multiple times on Predominantly Orange, and I know that guys like Arlovsky on ESPN and like other guys on Twitter have talked about it, but like it's like I know Boaz had such a hard time with his feet, getting happy feet and all that, but being under center, getting the timing right between his steps with the routes and stuff like that will help him as well. So like whenever you look at the best offenses this year, Lions, Patriots, Rams, Seahawks, they're always under center. They got the top plays under center. I think right now we're in 20th. The last time I checked, we were 20th. I don't know if that's gone up or down, but I truly believe this team should be under center.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say, obviously the biggest thing is they've got to continue the trend of getting out of the huddle with like 15 seconds left, 18 seconds left. They got to continue that trend because it was, and it did feel like they were under center a few, like even a little bit more in that Chiefs game. Yeah. But it was also because like they were just, and also too, like even to the point of like getting out of the huddle, like the personnel was kind of dying down. You didn't see so much switch of personnel for everything that we had been seeing. And then that was also like our most complete game. And yet, I believe it was K-Dub mentioned penalties. Like, I mean, like if there is one thing that has nothing to do with like the performance, I guess it has something to do with the performance. But like if there's one thing we didn't get a chance to address, has been the penalties, right? And it is a glaring issue. It is a glaring issue for this team. Now, we would be remiss. I know we talked about him. We wouldn't be remiss if we didn't mention the Riley Moss discussion, at least a little bit, because I think that right, wrong, or indifferent, it's getting to a point where there are key moments of a game, and it's ruining situations. It's ruining opportunities for you as a defense. And so I think thankfully Riley at least addressed this, right? Like Riley at least addressed this thing. I just need to be a bit better. I need to be a little bit more, or I should say a little bit less grabby, which is probably the biggest thing that he needs to deal with. But I figure that like that's also probably a large part to do with some of that penalties, but it isn't just that. It's obviously the false starts. It's the discipline issues of illegal formations, and for some weird reason calling offsides on offense, which I've never really seen until this year more frequently when it comes to the NFL. So I just kind of figured that we briefly touch on the penalties side of things, which is a big deal for this team.
Yep.
I'm just kind of like banking on ignoring it and pretending like it's not an issue until it actually goes away. Which I hope Sean Payton's not doing, but I have the luxury of living 700 miles away from Denver or however far away from Denver I live. So
I know this sounds dumb, but I am in the camp of taking Riley Moss off on third down until he can earn some trust back.
Yeah.
I know that
put
sounds
KD
so dumb.
in there for him on third.
Yeah, I know it's dumb, dude. It's dumb. But once Pat Surtain is back, I would do that.
Which is this year. Or I mean, this game, Like this game, he's supposed to be back.
Oh, nah, dude, you shouldn't put him on this field in rainy conditions. I hope he doesn't play.
Yeah, that's
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, keep everybody that's not 100% out of this game, dude. I'm treating this game like freaking Tennessee, like preseason week 5. That's how I'm treating this game.
I think we just need to make sure that all referees attend an anti-white bias seminar before they referee against the Denver Broncos defense. God forbid a white boy get a little motion outside at cornerback, and like the dumbest thing too is like those penalties, and I swear too, some of it is like the illegal touching penalties down. Like I swear we are called for them more than any other team in the NFL. Like when I watch a game, I'm like, I haven't heard an illegal touching penalty all game long. Why do we have 3 a week? And those penalties against Riley Moss are just so like, they're so ticky-tacky, could go either way, but it just makes you feel like tape Riley Moss's hands like this. Like tape his thumbs down.
Oh, give him some mitts. Just
do
boxing
something that he can't grab, right? Make his gloves really slippery. I don't need him to get interceptions. Just deflect the ball and don't get pass interference.
Well, I was gonna say, didn't he say this week or something that he started having boxing gloves? Maybe that is just because he wants to get in fight with the refs for all these really bad calls. I don't know.
I'll be in there right with him.
Right now, he's the biggest Achilles heel on this defense. Him and his penalties, dude. Even more than inside linebacker, man. That's been fine.
And Mahomes knew what to do last week too. Like I tweeted at it in live time, like real time. I was like, their entire game plan in the second half on third and long is literally just going to be throw it deep to Riley Moss and get a penalty. And go. It was.
Well, at a certain, we said that, Jordan, like last week. It was like that's also kind of like the side of a really bad offense. Not to make it about the Chiefs too much on this, but it was just like that's the side of a terrible offense. Like when you are penalty hunting the entire game, you're doing dink and dunk offense and then penalty hunting with, and everything. Like it's really bad. But I mean, I will say this though, David, like, and that's why I phrased it the way I did, because it's like right, wrong, or indifferent. The penalties are happening with Riley, right? And so it's just like you have to address it. And I think that's why Riley kind of finally came out and be like, I know I'm playing really well, but I still have to be better, and I can't be penalized in these certain situations. So I have to be better. And if there is, as we said, like if there's one thing that he needs to work on is he's a little bit grabby, right? Like he's a little bit grabby. And so hopefully he worked on. Hopefully those boxing gloves worked. But as we're rounding out, do you guys have any bold predictions for the game against the Broncos?
Yeah, I do. We still win by double digits, man. I don't care if this is going to be a monsoon, dude. Man, this defense is going to make Gonna make easy work out of the Commanders, dude. We're talking about their best players being freaking Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Like, no,
Yeah.
man, that's not how this. This ain't gonna be a game, dude. Broncos win in a monsoon, 24-9. We're not letting them score double digits, dude. On this defense, we're not letting that happen. But yeah, bold prediction. We're still frustrated by the lack of carries from RJ Harvey. And we're still going to be complaining about Troy Franklin leading this team in targets over some more talented receivers than we have. Jordan, this is where you and I, man, got a bridge. This is where we align on, man. More targets for Marvin Mims, more targets for Pat Bryant, more targets for A.T. Perry.
Pat Bryant?
For A.T. Perry, I like that. At the end, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
My bold prediction: Broncos pitch a shutout.
What's the score then? 6-0, 9-0.
We'll score some touchdowns. I don't know, 17-0, 18-0, something like that.
18.
Sure.
Oh man, I think I was like a baseball score.
6 field goals.
6 field goals.
Will Lutz earns that contract.
Yeah, typical monsoon game on that one. What about you, Jordan?
I would say that we get a special teams touchdown.
No way.
Marvin Mims does feel like he's actually like close to breaking one, right? Like he's super close to breaking one for a score right now.
I thought that punt last week was going to go.
If he uses his peripheral vision just a little bit and he looks right, I wonder if he stops and then cuts back inside. And at that point, that's a house call.
Special teams touchdown, bucket, and it won't be a punt return touchdown.
It's going to be Dale Skinner touchdown, baby.
Jordan might actually have a field day if Dale Skinner ends up having a touchdown.
How about that? Moment of the year, blocking it with his face. Who blocks a punt with their face?
Vince Papale moment.
The 6'10" safety that you have that you don't use other than special teams.
Yeah.
Dude, that was amazing, dude.
Dude, you know how hard the ball comes off of the punter's foot? That had to hurt.
Dude, and he just got up. Dude. He was right there.
It's that Boise State brain. They're good. It's just full of potatoes.
I will say the football to the face reminded me of the movie Little Giants. When he takes the football to the face.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see what the Bo Nix agenda is from the media after this game. It's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait. And it might be better for the team for everybody to shit on him. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I was going to say, if there's one thing we know, maybe not just about the Bo Nix agenda or just in general, we know that things can switch up in
Adam
2 weeks.
Adam Troutman will fight you, Dragon Slayer 69. He
New
will
Master
fight you.
69. Yeah, he will definitely fight you. So New Master or Dragon Slayer, if you are in the chat, he will find you. And then Riley Moss will come find you with his boxing gloves and not just use it for practice.
Dude, if Sean Payton has any balls, though, dude, he should try and experiment this week with Adam Prentice as just our version of Mike Allstott.
He might need to be
A-Train
up in the
2.0.
backfield under center on like 3rd and 2.
A-Train 2.0. I'm in.
Dude, I'm shocked we didn't sign a running back over the past 2 weeks, even to the practice squad.
We're supposedly going to, but he decided to sign with the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, and now you have to have a backup, dude. I'm talking about Gus Edwards. I'd be okay with that, dude. And I even made the argument for dusty ass Ezekiel Elliott, dude. Bring him onto the practice squad, but maybe Adam Prentice is that guy.
Yeah. Well, I guess you do need an extra center. You could bring Ezekiel Elliott.
As long as we move everybody away and just let 3 defenders just run straight through him.
Yeah. I don't know. My bold prediction: less than 10 penalties. Less than 10
That
penalties.
is bold.
Yeah, that is. I mean, wow.
Less
a great game.
Less than 10 penalties in the rain, and it will be 5 penalties the Broncos have, and the the team who is also undisciplined under Dan Quinn has around 9 or 10 penalties. They have more penalties than the Broncos.
You think Mercedes Lewis gets a penalty this week?
Holding penalty? Yeah. I think though that
It's those arthritis knuckles. That's what it is.
you know, he's a little older than me, so it might be a little bit of those arthritis. All right. Probably one final thought is I want to know your thoughts, David. I hate to put you on the spot. I want to know your thoughts of a certain coach that just got hired here locally by the name of Jim Mora to the CSU Rams. Kind of took everybody by surprise, like quite literally took everybody by surprise, even Nick Saban by surprise. Strez brought that up like in the green room, like it's just they brought some like even him by surprise. They could start like the guy. They drop Thamel dropped it at like 12:45 Jordan's time. That he ended up being the coach of CSU. So how does it feel knowing the fact that Jim Mora is already the best college coach in Denver?
Denver, whole state of Colorado, dude. Let's be real, man. I ain't gonna sugarcoat this, dude. We saw some of the worst coaching I've ever seen in my life last week against Arizona State. Let's be real. But I got to commend little brother for this, okay? They're always swinging big. When they poached Jay Norvell from Nevada, that was a big move, going after a conference rival. It didn't work out because he sucks, I guess. But you swing big, dude. Jim Mora in Fort Collins. That's going to be fun to watch, man. I might have to, turn my channel to David Talks Sheep. We'll see how it goes.
David Talks Sheep. It's crazy. I will say, I don't know what is still more surprising, the fact that Jim Mora went to the CSU Rams, or the fact that CSU Rams are in the Pac-12.
Well, that's a fake Pac-12. They just got the Pac-12 branding, but
It's like a create your own burger at this point.
Yeah. It's like when you get fake Jordans. It's like that type of thing.
Fake Jordan, like a fake Jordan Lopez.
Oh no, dude, never. But yeah, dude, some fake NFL jerseys. They're like a fake Power 5 conference, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but dude, happy for him, man. Mountain West, baby, let's go.
Yep. Strez, what is the thing you are most looking forward to in the Michigan is going to be beating Ohio State matchup once again?
I'm excited to see what Matt Patricia and that defense can do to a freshman quarterback like Bryce Underwood. The kid hasn't even thrown 10 touchdowns yet this season, and I don't see that changing this weekend. Because we're talking about Matt Patricia, multiple Super Bowls, game planned against guys like Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Eli. Like, he knows how to scheme up a game against a quarterback, and he's going to be doing this against a freshman quarterback at a school that does not develop their QBs, as we've come to find out with the situation taking place up in. So that's the part that I have like the most confidence going into this game. Go Bucks, by the way. But dude, it's hate week all over the country. I'm so hyped for the Texas A&M game. I'm hyped for Iowa, Nebraska. I'm hyped for freaking Arkansas, Mizzou, Florida State. Like, it's gonna be awesome. I'm very no one can South Carolina. Actually, don't even know if that game is actually happening this weekend. But yeah, dude, rivalry week is so fun. I'm really excited about what's gonna happen too. And keep an eye out for what could happen in the Iron Bowl and up in Washington when Oregon comes to town. Keep an eye out.
I was gonna say I'm keeping an eye out for when Pittsburgh is gonna absolutely steamroll Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, that won't happen. We'll win again, and then the committee will make 500 different excuses and contradict themselves about Notre Dame and Miami and all this bullshit. So,
What does Miami need to happen to make it to the ACC championship game? They need Virginia and Duke to lose.
they need, and I had just retweeted this, I think, so I can pull it up. Maybe, I don't know. Let me see. It's actually not like a bad path. It's pretty it's fairly
Like it could happen.
Yeah, like it's actually it's very much doable. First we have to win, and Miami is known for these November games, so that has to happen first. And then yes, SMU has to lose to Cal, or Virginia Tech has to beat Virginia.
Okay,
So
I mean it could
doable, very doable,
it is
but
definitely doable.
in the ACC, we don't know anything. So anything can happen. And I'm just glad the Florida State game is on Cartoon Network. And then, I can't wait for the committee to just stick their shaft up my ass again and just completely derail Miami. Because, head-to-head doesn't matter. And when you talk about common opponents, let's only bring up Syracuse and that NC State and the rest. Don't even get me started.
Dude, I hate college football, dude. I hate everything about it.
I love it. I love it.
Please.
Yeah, man, it's such a broken system, dude. All these players, dude.
Joey Galloway. Don't even get me started on that guy.
What would you rather have, though? Would you rather have the old BCS?
Yes, absolutely. Every week was life or death.
I don't know. I'm
give me the BCS
Press
every
is so
day.
quiet. He's like, I don't want to take a bite of this.
My team hasn't lost since this week last year.
Yeah, plus the
So
computers favor Ohio State anyways back from the BCS. I mean, dude, that was great. We need to go back to paying guys with paper bags, dude. Not this. This AAU stuff every single year. Switch teams, all this bullshit, dude.
You know what? You know what?
No
David?
continuity.
You were so right. We should go back to the BCS because there's that one famous year that I really enjoyed so much for a really good portion of the season until the national championship game, and that was the 2001 year.
Yeah, what happened there?
The 2001 year where we got our butts kicked
by
not only CU, but when we took a ride to the national championship game. So we definitely enjoyed. Getting the chance to enjoy a national championship. So I agree. I think that the BCS is a perfect system. So I enjoyed for what could have been that 2000. By the way, for the record, Nebraska should never have been in that national championship.
Well, I'll tell you what. BCS ain't perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than this stupid college football playoff.
I disagree.
Dude, I hate the college football playoff. You remember how bad those first round games were last year? It's only going to get worse.
They were that way when it was 4 teams.
Yeah, that's true.
There were blowouts all the time when it was just 4 teams.
Exactly. So just go back to the BCS.
Fuck it,
but what if Tulane makes a run?
Oh yeah. Let's do this thing like March Madness. Everybody loves March Madness. Let's make March Madness 70 teams. Everybody gets a playoff berth. Everybody, dude. How about you make bowl games important again, dude? When was the last time a coach got fired because they couldn't win the bowl games, dude? We have lost our soul in college sports.
I will say though, specific to this year, the one thing that they are doing great that I really like a lot is the fact that they do have the opportunity for like a North Texas or a JMU, like those kind of schools to get into the playoff so that you have that opportunity for quite literally a Cinderella to at least experience something like that.
Yeah, I understand, Cameron, but this is college football. Save the Cinderella for March Madness, man.
But it's still you still have to honor. Like we say it all the time, right? Like we said it like even with the rankings of you get like a 12-1 team. Why were they not in it?
We got the off season in college football starting when the playoffs start. How does that make any sense? We're going to have coaches leave before the season's even up, dude. It doesn't even mean anything to win the conference anymore, man.
Just watch next week when Lane Kiffin leaves.
I will say though, like obviously we've been following a bunch in terms of the head coaching cycles. This is the wildest that I can recall.
There were 16 open jobs last week. 16.
Man.
This
It's
is the
crazy.
wildest.
And by the way, an 8 seed did win the title last year, so can't happen.
It definitely can happen. Speaking of college stuff, you can go check out the work that David does for the David Talks Buffs. Obviously, it's been a bit of a rough patch for those.
Don't do it unless you want to hear me complain.
But no, please go support David for what he does for not just the David Talks Broncos, but the David Talks Buffs and Strez. For when he at least wants to talk up the fact that Emmett Johnson should have been up for the Doak Walker Award, but he wasn't.
Can't believe he wasn't a finalist. I'm actually shocked by that.
But no, please check all the stuff that he does. And what's the name of the college pod that you do?
The Water Boys College Football Show. Release videos every single day, and we go live for 2 hours on Saturdays before the games kick off, which is really fun.
And you
David's actually been a guest picker once, which was really cool.
I think I went like 3-2 or something in my picks.
I think you did. I did not do well that day.
Meanwhile, Jordan and I are chop liver, and we still haven't hopped on. It's okay. I still love you.
Sorry.
And you also do Bronco stuff, right? Like you do Bronco stuff.
Yeah, there's some stuff coming down the pipe, some updates that I'm not going to share yet, but keep an eye out.
The other thing too is that these guys are big short form kings, so go check out the stuff that they do over there on TikTok. And
you'll hate my TikTok. Don't follow me.
Still though, make sure you follow what he does over there on TikTok and stuff from Bronco stuff to, not even just sports related stuff. Stress does really good work. David, he rambles, but go check him out over there on TikTok.
Blucifer boys, Strez and I do a show normally on Thursdays.
Oh, where was this? We
decided to just do it tonight.
Do the Blucifer.
Yeah, tomorrow night's Thanksgiving. I'll be in a coma from what's the stuff that's in Turkey? Try something.
Oh yeah, saw Dan Hurley talk about it.
Yeah, makes you sleepy.
Well,
yeah.
No, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Melatonin.
I'll make sure that we end up checking that out. Again, it is Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I just want to say how thankful I am for not just Strez and David Talks Broncos, but just every member of the Broncos content community. We are a family. We may disagree. We may agree on, some things, disagree on some things, but I am so thankful for each and every member of the Broncos content community. And so I am obviously mainly, pun intended, thankful for the Mainly Broncos, the MHRT network, the 5280 podcast, everybody that does the stuff for that network. I'm grateful to have a great co-host in Jordan, Brandon, and Maddie to be a part of for the show. It's been a fun ride. Make sure you go check out why are you shaking your head? I swear.
That bottom comment, I'm sorry, I read. I'm in a feisty mood. We're getting close to Saturday. It's like,
would you take another loss to Michigan if it meant another national title?
No.
Oh,
Dang,
what?
you're spoiled.
really?
No, man.
I want to beat them. I want to do both in the same calendar year.
But no, make sure you go check out David at David Talks Buffs, and then go follow Strez. It's at _Strez. Again, they do really good stuff. I'm really proud to have him in the network. And actually, David, you can drop the Discord for the content creators if they want to.
Oh yeah. Message me on Discord, or not on Discord because you need the link, on X or on Instagram or whatever. David Talks Sports. If you're a content creator, I will add you. If you're a fan, you gotta pay the fee. Can't have trolls in there.
And what is the fee?
$5 a month.
It's good stuff. Again, it is really good stuff. You get a chance to interact with not only David and Strez, but that beautiful babyface assassin over there on the bottom right, who never really contributes every once, but 17 days or 20 days or whatever. He's in there. He just very rarely comments. He's alive, I swear. It's unless you slander Pat Bryant's name, and then he shows up. But anyway, thank you guys to everybody that has hopped in. We are so thankful for each and every one of you. Thank you for the comments, a lively chat that was tonight. Subscribe to Mainly Broncos YouTube channel. Subscribe to the MHRT Network channel. follow the Mainly Broncos Twitter account. Follow us on the short form that we do for TikTok and everything. Again, I can't thank you guys enough, Strez and David, for hopping on with us. And we will definitely be doing this crossover one more time. Or maybe not. What am I saying? One more time? We'll do it again.
For the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
There we go.
Yeah, we're all there on Media Row.
Right there on Media Row. And then without further ado.
Let's go!